As we look at impermanence, I think sometimes it's easier to just think about this as the concept of change, the way that things are evolving, the way that life is unfolding, and what our relationship is with that process. This can absolutely be a place where grasping shows up. There is a natural process that if we like something, if we want it in our life, we're going to try to grasp at it. And if we don't like something, if it's unpleasant, we're probably going to try to push it away or avoid it. And we talked about that with attachment and aversion. So within the whole process of change, we're always saying, well, that's good, I like that. That I don't like, I want to push that away. So there's this energy that goes into that relationship. And we've talked several times about the concept of the open hand. I think many months back when we were doing the chapter on letting go, and this showed up somewhere when we were doing the Yoga Sutras, we were talking about how the open hand is this visual reminder of how we're trying to approach life. And it works so well with the concept of change. And the idea is that we have this very soft, open hand, and whatever is here right now is welcome to sit there, and we can be with it. We can admire the specialness of the moment because we know that it is fleeting. It is going to change. And when that time comes where whatever it is going to leave, the hand is open so that process can happen. And that's the relationship that we are trying to strengthen with this process of change. Because as we talked about with attachment and aversion, it is an energy draining process because we really can't control, we can't stop the process of change from happening. So creating that open space, that connection to gratitude for the specialness of the moment can take this, what seems like such a negative, difficult concept for us to be with, and really spins it into something that says, okay, let me recognize each moment as incredibly special. And because of that, I want to really notice it. I want to be there with the details, but I'm not going to grasp it. So when it's ready to leave, it can go. And that takes a lot of work, I'm going to be honest. It takes a lot of work, especially in some of the bigger areas of our life. So that's what we're here to do, to work on that relationship to change, that process of being with change in our life. So go ahead and settle in. We're going to do nothing particularly new, just slightly different variations with our breath work and with our mantra, but all pretty familiar. So go ahead and start to settle your body, find that position that creates an internal sense of alertness. And very often that means taking the pelvis, the heart, and the head into one straight line. Moving down into the awareness of the pelvis, whatever you're sitting on, whatever is creating that sense of support for you right now. It's that feeling of arriving in your practice. And there's a little bit of a process of shedding the things that you were doing before. Sometimes that tug is still there. But over the course of a few breaths, you let yourself land right where you're sitting. Here I am, right here, in this completely unique moment. Letting that attention move throughout your body. Almost like you're saying to yourself, what do you want me to notice? See what part of your body draws your attention. Feeling that experience of sensation, whatever it might be. Creating some open space for your attention to move to another part of the body. Like you're saying, okay, what else is there to notice here? Where else can my attention settle? And we'll start to draw the awareness up into the hands. And if they're not already, flipping the hands over so that the palms are up and they have something to rest on. Inviting a sense of softness into the hands and the fingers. You get to see the natural shape that the hand takes. And it's like your attention is resting right in the center of your palm. Just the same way if you placed an object on your hand, and it would sit right on your hand. Noticing the sense of rest and softness that exists in the hands. Feeling that as a connection to our ability to be with things that are here, and holding lightly so that things can come and go as they need to naturally. And then starting to expand your awareness out to the rest of the body. It's like you're inviting that same feeling that you have in the hand. Open, soft, receptive. Can I invite that same experience of energy into the rest of the body? Can I let my whole being exist in that space of open, soft, receptive? Things will come and go, and I can be with that process. Letting that soak in. And then we're going to work with our breath in a cleansing pattern. So of course, when we are navigating change, it is totally natural for resistance to come up, especially if there's something there that we really liked, that we wanted to hold on to, and it's changing. There's a natural process of wanting to resist that. So when we feel that resistance coming up, we can offer ourselves some tools to help find some ease in that process. And one of the breath patterns that we've worked with is a punctuated inhale and a punctuated exhale. It's a very cleansing process. Like whatever's stuck in the body, let me find a way to let go of that and move closer into that soft, receptive experience. Okay, so the ratio that you might do is a short and gentle 5-part inhale. So 5 little tiny inhales through the nose, and then 5 little exhales through the mouth. So it would look like this. And as you start to work with those 5 small, gentle inhales, make sure that you're breathing low into the ribs, into the belly. Don't let your neck and your shoulders do the breath. Really low. And on your exhale, focus on that process of letting go of that feeling of grasping or resistance that comes up when you're facing change. And of course, if 5 pieces of the breath feels like a lot, you can do 4, you can do 3, whatever ratio of breath feels like it works well. But try to keep the inhale and the exhale even. Couple more rounds with that breath, whatever ratio you're working with, feeling that internal movement of the breath, helping you with that process of letting go of resistance, being with things exactly as they are, allowing the natural changes in life to take place. Next time you exhale, let that breath pattern go and we'll just settle for a moment. It's like you're stepping back, letting go of any control over your breath. You hand that back over to your body and you sit there and you observe. What do I feel like after that breath? And then we'll take that next step into the practice of being with the space in the mind, working with our mantra, our instrument, to create some space and clarity. And we're going to work with 2 of our classic mantras here with the hands, because we have this focus on the hands. So the 4-part mantra, sa, ta, na, ma, our kirtan kriya, and we tap the thumb to each of the fingers from the index finger down toward the pinky. And then when you get to the end of the line, you open your hand softly and we put the sounds together into its root mantra, which is Sat Nam. And Sat Nam is the mantra of being with truth, being with the universal truth. It's like a big picture truth. Can I be with the truth of the universe? And then we go right back into sa, ta, na, ma, which is, can I be in the flow of life as it's going? Open, soft hand, sat, nam. Can I be with truth? Sa, ta, na, ma, sat, nam. 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 Last round, really softly. Sa, ta, na, ma, sat, nam. Releasing the mantra, just sitting, resting in that open space, observing what is the mind like after you work with a mantra and let it go. And here we find ourselves in that clear, open space where the work of our deeper practice can take place. Starting to rest the mind on the idea of change. Change as a concept or a process. Noticing how you feel as you sit with the word change. Does change have a positive connotation to it? Does change bring a feeling of fear or resistance? Or maybe it's neutral. So we notice that energetic signature and that relationship that we have initially with the process of change. There might be a thought that comes up with that of, I'm good at navigating change, or I'm not good at navigating change, or any other thoughts of judgment that might be associated with the experience of change in your life. Maybe change is something that you tend to welcome, or maybe it's something that you tend to push away. And no matter what our relationship is with change up until this moment, we see if we can start to create a new space, like a little clearing in your mind. And you're planting this new version of change as something mostly neutral. And seeing if you can sit with the idea that change is the process of life unfolding. Change is the constant. Whether it is fast or slow, there's always this process of change happening. And we know that within our practice, using labels in the mind, we can label a thought as judgment or distraction. We can label a sensation that we have in the body. But now as we build this relationship with change, we can go through that same process in your life. Anything that is happening or shifting, thinking about a particular area of your life that you could point to and say, there is the process of change. That is the process of life itself. And as we create this new relationship with change, this understanding that it's always there, we start to purposely lean in a slightly positive direction. When we know that everything is a temporary experience, that everything in our life is coming and going, we recognize that each moment is completely unique. Something that we will never repeat again exactly the same. And in that realization, it can create a connection to mindful awareness. If this moment is completely special, let me be aware of exactly what is here. Let me notice the details of it. Knowing that it will never happen again. And then taking that next step toward the experience of gratitude. When we notice the details and the specialness of each moment, the follow-up question that you have for yourself is, okay, in my life as it is right now, as completely imperfect and with all of the challenges that do absolutely exist, there are also things that I can be grateful for that are special. Let me notice what those are right now in my life. And when we notice those things that are special, that connect us to a sense of gratitude, and knowing that we're holding them gently with that open hand, letting them be here as long as they can, but knowing that everything is in that process of change. And when that change happens, we have this challenge to see how gently we can navigate that. as we work into this experience of impermanence, the constant changing nature of life, as a way to remind ourselves to be more mindful, more connected to the details of the moment, to take any opportunity to root into gratitude, even and especially when things are not perfect, or especially when things are challenging. Noticing the things that are also there that we can be grateful for. And this is the process that creates connection and support within our life. It's what allows us to be with life as it is and to soften our resistance. And we'll take our last couple breaths here, seeing if you can use your breath to soak in that experience. Connection to the special details of each moment. Connection to gratitude for what is there. Knowing that it will change. And as we start to draw this practice to a close, going through the gentle process of expanding your awareness out, listening to some of the ambient sounds around you, especially some of the sounds that are a little bit farther away. And that process starts to expand your awareness. And then when you're ready, opening the eyes. And it's a slow process of looking around with a very gentle gaze, kind of unfocused, so you're not looking too sharply at anything. Letting your nervous system reacclimate to eyes open, all of this information coming in.